So I wanted to give my thoughts on the movie I saw today called Trick. It actually came out this year. It stars Omar Epps, Jamie Kennedy, and also Christina Reyes and Ellen Adair. Now, I am familiar with Jamie Kennedy and Omar Epps. They're probably the two biggest names in this movie. I'm not familiar with Ellen Adair and Christina Reyes, but I would say that Omar Epps, Ellen Adair, and Christina Reyes are pretty much the big three in this movie. They are the main three protagonists in this movie. The movie really centers. I would say the story is really centers more around Omar Epps than anybody else. But the movie is about a slasher or killer that goes by the name of Trick, and this slasher seems to only attack during Halloween. He or she has been attacking since the past 4 years, and Omar Epps and Ellen are trying to pretty much capture or kill this killer. So that's kind of the synopsis of this movie. I would say that this movie is actually not that bad. A lot of people have been trashing it. I've been on IMDb. I see that it has a 5-star rating out of 10, or 5.1 out of 10. Sorry, and I think that's. I don't think it's actually. I think it was a little bit better than that. Now the acting isn't great, but then again, this is a slasher movie, so I'm not expecting incredible acting. But I did think Omar Epps did do a great job with the role he was given. Jamie Kennedy, I actually liked. He wasn't in the movie for that long. He sporadically appeared here and there throughout the movie, but when he was on screen, I thought he was decent. He did what he worked with the lines he had pretty much. Ellen Adair, she plays the sheriff of the town, and her and Omar Epps are pretty much the main two that are investigating what's going on with this killer. And I think she did decent. I'm not familiar with her. I don't really know any other things she's been in, but she did a pretty good job here. No complaints from me. Christina Reyes, she plays one of the survivors of the first attack that Trick does, and pretty much, it seems as if she's gone on with her life, but she comes back into town to help her father after he has an accident, and that's how she's drawn back into the story. She does a good job with the character. I think she's fine. In all honesty, I really don't think the movie would have been that much different if she wasn't in it. But, I don't think it was a real big issue that she was in it. So that's pretty much all I have to say about her. There's a couple other actors in here. They're not really known, so I won't go through all of them. But, everyone, like I said, it's not the best acting in the world, but I've seen acting far worse than this movie. When it comes to there is one gripe I have about this movie. A lot of the scenes are actually shot at night, and I'm not sure if it was the quality of the movie that I had, but of the quality of what I was watching, but I could barely make out a lot of what was going on. Like some of the kills are actually very creative, really good. But it was hard to see at times. So that was really, my main concern with this movie, is that I kind of wish that the lighting was a little bit better on certain parts of it. When it comes to the story itself, I think the story is pretty straightforward, so I won't go over that again. The shots, cinematography is decent. Like I said, the only gripe I had was the lighting wasn't the best at times, so it was kind of hard to see some things. I went over the acting. The sound was fine. I'm trying to think of anything else that's noteworthy about this movie, but I can't think of anything right now. In my opinion, if you like slasher movies, you'll like this movie. It's pretty much by the numbers. You kind of know what you're going to get going into it. I think some of the death scenes or the kills are pretty good. I think the acting was decent. I think the cinematography was fine. You can definitely tell it's more of a low budget movie, but it wasn't so bad. Some movies are so low budget it looks like they were filmed on like an old iPhone. But this movie actually looks like, regular production was done on it. I didn't notice before, but actually the director of this movie, he did My Bloody Valentine, which is another slasher movie that came out in the early 2000s. And I do remember that movie, so I kind of see the similarities. Like the style is very similar in my opinion. But that's really all I have when it comes to this movie. I didn't want to do a deep, in-depth dive of it, but I just wanted to give my quick thoughts on it. So, like, just to recap, if you're a fan of horror and slashers, I think, go ahead and see this movie, check it out. If you're not, then definitely don't. You're probably not gonna like this movie. Those are my thoughts again, and thanks again for listening.